Alright guys, today we're looking at something that might just be one of the flashiest watches in my collection. This is the Tudor Oyster Date+Day, reference number 94613. People often call it the poor man's Rolex Day-Date. And to be honest, there's a reason for that. Let me explain. I'm a big fan of vintage watches with history, and that's exactly what this Tudor is. Comes from an era when Rolex and Tudor still shared parts, like the crown and the caseback, which makes it special. The only thing is, the design is just louder than I usually go for. All the gold, the flash, it screams for attention in a way most of my other watches don't. Still, I don't regret buying it for a second. I paid 1,500 euros and for me it was worth it. Because behind all that shine, it's still a rare piece of Rolex and Tudor history. The Tudor Date-Date is a two-tone watch with stainless steel and a yellow gold accent. It has a 36mm case, a fluted gold bezel, and of course that classic jubilee bracelet that instantly reminds you of a Rolex. On the inside, it's powered by an ETA 2834 automatic movement modified by Tudor to include both the day and date complication. It's reliable, robust, and still serviceable today. The caseback proudly reads Original Oyster Case by Rolex. It's those little Rolex ties that make this reference so much fun for collectors. Here's the thing about this watch. Back in the day, the Tudor Day-Date was made for people who loved the Rolex Day-Date but simply couldn't afford the real thing. It was for those who wanted to give off the same vibe. The fluted bezel, the jubilee bracelet, the day and date at 12 and 3 o'clock, but at a much lower price. It's kind of like the modern Moonswatch. You get the look but not the watch itself. That's really what this Tudor was all about, giving people the dated image without the day-date money. Tudor itself was founded by Hans Wilsdorf, the same man who founded Rolex. The idea was simple: offer the same quality case and bracelets as Rolex but with more affordable movements inside. That way more people could experience the Rolex feel without paying Rolex prices. And that's exactly what this 94613 represents. It's Rolex DNA made accessible through Tudor. And I'll be real with you, it feels a little bit clumsy compared to what I imagine a Rolex would feel like. I don't own a Day-Date to compare it directly, but I'm pretty sure the refinement is on another level. That said, the Tudor has its own charm. It's not trying to be a perfect Rolex. It's its own quirky, loud piece of vintage watchmaking. In the end, even though it's flashier than I usually like, it's still a vintage watch with real history. This reference is special because Rolex and Tudor don't make watches like this together anymore. It's a time capsule from a very different era, and I love having that in my collection. And honestly, even with all this flash, I still love this watch. So yeah, the Tudor Oyster Day-Date, reference number 94613, might be not for everyone. For some it's too much gold, too much flash, but for me it's a reminder of when Tudor was still living in Rolex shadow and producing watches that gave people a taste of luxury for a fraction of the cost. What do you think? Does this watch stand on its own, or will it always just be seen as the poor man's Day-Date? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.